Little ding. There was once a king. Now this king, he must have been pretty important because Indra gave him, wait for it, a celestial carriage. And when the people saw him coursing through the sky, they called him Uparachara. Now, Uparachara had been studying the signs and decided that it was an auspicious time to conceive a child. So one afternoon, he and his wife took off to the privacy of the palace gardens and set about the task. However, they were interrupted by Uparachara's dead ancestors. Uparachara, Uparachara, your ancestors are conducting their ceremonies of remembrance, and we require of you to slay a deer. A deer? What? Now? When your ancestors come calling and asking something of you, you really cannot refuse. So Uparachara, he abandoned his afternoon of pleasure and he set off into the forest to hunt a deer. Well, now he'd been in the forest for several hours. He grew weary, so he curled up under the shade of some ashoka trees. Ah, well, now perhaps it was the sweet perfume of the flowers, but soon, Uparachara was dreaming of his beautiful wife and, well, dear, not wishing to waste the royal seed, Uparachara wrapped it in a leaf and beckoned to a little bird. Please, would you be so kind as to carry this precious package to the palace and give it to my wife? Well, the little bird headed off and was doing quite well. However, it was spotted by a hungry hawk. And in the tussle that ensued, the little bird dropped the precious package and it fell down, down, down towards the river Yamuna, where it would have been lost forever. However, it was swallowed by a fish, who instantly became pregnant. Well, now time passed, months passed, in fact, and that fish was caught. And when the fishermen sliced it open, they found inside twins. A little boy and a little girl. Well, the fishermen recognized these twins as being of royal parentage, so they took them to the palace to give to Uparachara. Well, he accepted the little boy, but oh my goodness, that little girl, she seems to have absorbed something of the fish. Perhaps you could take her back to the village and raise her as your own. So they did. The fishermen took the little girl back to the village and raised her as one of their own. They called her Satyavati. Satyavati's childhood was not happy. She was teased for that dreadful aroma. She grew into a beautiful, strong woman, and it became her job to ferry people across the river Yamuna. One day, she was carrying in her boat a very, very powerful sage. His name was Parashara, and halfway across the river, he was struck by the shafts of Kamadeva, and he expressed his desire to make love to Satyavati and have a child. What? Here? In the middle of the river? Oh, that's not possible. Why, I would be spoiled for marriage forever. Oh, I will cast a mist about the river, and no one will see us. You shall regain your virginity, and you will no longer smell of fish. And so it was. A thick mist was cast about the river, and on an island in the middle of the river Yamuna, Parashara and Satyavati made love. And in the blink of an eye, she gave birth to a boy who, by the power of his will, made himself grow into a man in seconds. He bowed respectfully to his mother and said, "You need only think of me, and I will appear." And so it was on that day. Satyavati was a mother, a lover, a virgin, and finally, fragrant. And the child born of Parasara and Satyavati, he would become known as Vyasa. And it was Vyasa who collected the scattered and almost forgotten hymns of the Veda. Vyasa.